Welcome back to another Get to Know You with Bangert Inc. And today I have Kevin with me, and I'm Kurt. So, Kevin, you are the longest employee still standing. So to speak. You've been here how long now? 36?
Probably around 36 years or so, I guess.
It's got to be 36 years. So what have you learned in that time?
I think part of it is just hang on because it moves fast sometimes.
When you started, we were still putting computers together, and the portable machines were in boxes about, So in that time, tell me a little bit about what you started doing, kind of what it evolved into, and things like that.
So when I started, it was first, I think your dad Richard brought me on to help with, he was doing some gas pump systems and things like that, right. Where back there, gas pumps had rotary dials, so we were epoxying optical sensors to the gas pumps to give digital readouts inside the buildings and things of that nature. That we kind of got started on that then, and then I think we went through some sort of, Alloway network cards or computer cards or something like that gave us some dumb terminals that Richard was developing software with, and somewhere around that line, then we started getting into a lot of time in Sage, or back then it was Timberline, I guess, and getting involved in pretty much a whole turnkey. So we were doing the servers and workstations and things like that. So that was probably the biggest thing there that I was getting involved in, is just setting up a whole room full of, whatever workstations and server client might have, and getting them all set up and tested and so forth. Probably about the 90s when I think Brett went down to St. Louis, I kind of moved into doing some of the estimating consulting back then to get us involved in the consulting side of things. And I think that was been a pretty interesting transition, because I think that's was always intimidating to start with, not knowing that much about the estimating process and how could you go in there and really help someone know how to estimate a project and things of that nature. So it was kind of interesting, because a lot of what I had to do back then, because of my unknowledgeable about the product and the process, really turned into something I still utilize with clients even today, where, I don't like to say, oh, here's how you do it. I really like to try to sit back and, how do you do it? How would you want to do it? How should the system calculate it? Things of that nature, because I think that through the years, I've kind of learned that, it makes the process more them. I think the more that a customer understands the system, some skin in the game as far as, hey, I've got pride if I did this. This is my, database, or similes and formulas and things of that nature.
Bingo. I think you're right. And just so you know, Kevin is one of the foremost experts on Sage estimating in the country. He's a little modest about that, but the fact of the matter is, if you need help with your estimating software, Kevin's the guy to go to. And then really, you had a long stretch estimating was kind of the whole world, right?
Pretty much, yep. And then I don't know where along the lines we kind of got involved in more of the data. So it got me involved with the My Assistant, of being able to automate emails, different types of reporting systems and things of that nature, to try to look at what kind of the same concept of estimating a little bit, as far as, what is the clients trying to produce, and how can we get the computer to produce them, or more information to make better decisions and things of that nature, or
faster,
easier and things like that.
Well, and you have quite the fan base. Let's just say that. Right?
There's quite a few YouTubers out there, I think, watching some of the videos, because that's probably the biggest thing now when I get a hold of, talk with someone new. A lot of times it's, well, we found you on the YouTube video, and things of that nature is a pretty common.
Well, you started doing YouTube videos back in 2012? I mean, it's been a long time.
Been a while on some of those,
Yeah. In fact, your estimating videos have the most views on our YouTube channel of any of them, by far. Over the last couple of years, we've been developing this the deployment system, and how are you seeing that change things within the company and so forth versus what we used to do?
Yeah, so far, I'm a little jealous of what I'm seeing, just for the fact of, I'm still working with a lot of people on 300 reports and things of that nature. Right. So, I see a lot more when I get involved in the Q&As and the 3 or 4 people in the room there, the Q&As type of thing, sometimes that they'll chip in at their own pieces where they know and so forth. Yeah. So, that's really, really kind of encouraging and interesting, just for the fact that how much faster somebody can get information, reducing the stumbling blocks along the way of as far as just the having to wait for answers as much.
It removes that reliance on a single individual.
Exactly.
Right, is what's happening. Anyway, that's another episode. And for Kevin's educational content, which is fantastic, head to our YouTube channel and stay tuned for another episode of Get to Know You.